Want to play a game? I'm Elle Black, and welcome back to The Vortex, where I will be reviewing Saw 10.
The cancer is still spreading. I'm afraid there's nothing else we can do. There is one person who might be able to help.
Our program is a two-pronged treatment outside Mexico City. The results have been stunning.
She saved my life.
This is still at the cinema and has already grossed $93 million. Yes, it's a big one. It's the 10th film. However, it is, of course, a sequel to the original, which is literally one of my favourite ever films. You may have seen the review on this channel that I did of the original Saw 2004 recently. And it's apparently a prequel to Saw 2. So I gotta say, guys, how confusing. And I was confused when I started to watch it. I didn't understand how he was still alive. But now I understand that. It totally makes sense. So we start off, and there he is, who we know is the Jigsaw killer, John Kramer, in the hospital, having his cancer confirmed, and the fact that it's terminal, which again I remember from way back, which now makes perfect sense. Really quickly, we first see our first killing. So love that. Loved straight into the gore to keep you interested. We progress. We go into a cancer support meeting, and there is a fellow there who says that he's terminal, but he wants to fight it all the way, and he looks quite sick. This is important because then very quickly after that, we see John bumping into him, seemingly by accident, and he's looking so fit and healthy. So he then gives John this secret email address about this secret program where it is not FDA approved, and he has to go to Mexico. Sounds totally legit, doesn't it? Obviously very expensive too. Funny that. But off he goes. And sure enough, it ends up being a scam. It looks really legit, and you know, he's quite an intelligent man actually, isn't he? So quite hard to fool. But they have everything. They have all of the different people in place that you'd expect. There's a young girl that introduces him when he arrives, little Mexican girl. There's a doctor who we later find out is, I think, a vet, and all these characters. And he goes through the process, he goes through the surgery, and it's not long after that he realizes he's been conned. So the premise of this film is that what he's doing is he's actually getting his comeback on all of the people that conned him. And he does this to the taxi driver first on his own. Brilliantly graphic again. But I've got to say, you do have to wait a really long time to get back to the graphics. So it's great that there's that one at the beginning to grab your attention, because then you have to spend a long time going through this process of learning about the health side of things, learning about this team of people, meeting them. But I guess we had to meet them so that we knew who they were and why they were being killed later. So I get that. The first one of these 4 people that he captures, well, first of all, sorry, how does he capture them? He's weak, he's old. You know, how would he physically do it? Some of these people would be stronger than him, and sure enough, who rears her ugly head? It's Amanda. Deja vu. So yeah, that did take me back to the second one, but I don't remember her dying in any of the others. Maybe she did and I've forgotten. Let me know if you remember. I didn't look it up. But there she is. She's the one that's seen to help, so that makes perfect sense. She's quite strong. She's only a girl. Some of them boys. She manages to do it, and I gotta say, they put her in a really weird wig as well. I don't know what that was about, but it was quite distracting. I wish they hadn't done that. Anyway, so she's there helping, and sure enough, they find these people, they locate them, they bring them all to one place. In fact, he segregates the taxi driver. He does the system with him first, and he has to dig these bombs out of his arms and mutilate his own arms from just under the elbows downwards. So that's brilliantly graphic, really sick. So we go on to the other 4. They are all in one room. They each have a game, one by one. And I have to say, first of all, the lady chops her own leg off, and it's really not fair that she still gets her head chopped off. But I love a full-on decapitation with a head rolling around on the floor. That's always a really good one in a horror film. So all good there. But yeah, even though she fully cuts her leg off, still gets her head chopped off. And, you know, the other one, again, the lady survives. So that's a pretty cool one. Doesn't always happen. Goes to the next guy, and he has to cut open his own head and cut out his own pieces of brain. So brilliantly sick, but so extreme, and really, really difficult to imagine that no matter what pressure you were under and your life was being threatened, that you'd actually be able to do that. Completely the opposite to the first one, which was just about breaking fingers. So that's one of the holes I'm picking. I find those two very out of character. They don't seem to be of the same ilk. But that was very, very sick to watch, and it takes me back to, you know, the likes of Hannibal, where you see the head open and the brain being ate and things like that. So a little flashback there. Brilliantly sick. And of course, what do we get with Saw, with the original Saw especially, is the twist at the end. So really happy about that. It twists and then it twists back. So, you know, he's getting his revenge. John's getting his revenge on all of these people that conned him. And then suddenly the lady, the main lady, she's like the only one that's left, she manages to regain control with this other guy that she's having sex with, but regains control. And for a while, for a minute, you think that both John Kramer and Amanda are in big trouble, and actually the tables have turned, and then it twists back again, because, yeah, again, John's quite clever, and he predicts these things, so gets back again. So if you love a horror that is graphic, it's got a storyline, because they don't always have storylines, definitely not good ones necessarily, and it is not predictable, and there is some good twists at the end, really similar to what I would say about the original Saw. Definitely go and watch it. And when I say go, at the cinema as we speak, but you can also grab it on Amazon Prime. Good old technology, cozy in your own home, purchase away. And no, they're not sponsoring, but maybe they should. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you found it useful. As always, please do like and subscribe, and do comment below. I will be reading and replying to all of them. And thanks for listening to what we have to say here on The Vortex.